The new Panigale V2 has 30 brake horsepower less than its predecessor, so has Ducati lost the plot? Well, actually no. On the internet, numbers are the only important things. Bloody hell. It doesn't quite toast your nuts as much as the old Super Quattro did. So I can't think of another example where from one generation to the next there's been such a big drop in power. And obviously, you know, on the internet, numbers are the only important thing. So there was much weeping and gnashing of teeth when the new one came out. I can remember I was there for the old job when it was revealed, and you know, I was tapping up the story under embargo thinking, yeah, people can have a field day with this. Well, I'll turn the camera around and we'll have a look at the bike. Certainly in terms of looks, I don't think we're going to hear any grumbling. I don't think it's quite as good looking as the old one. I think there are just a few elements. I don't know if this looks a bit too stubby by comparison, a bit too kind of like, you know, yeah, I think the other one was just spot on in terms of looks. This one is still a very good looking bike. I don't think it's just quite as good looking. There's a few bits that maybe I'm not so keen on, but yeah, very good looking. And yeah, as well as dropping around about 30 brake, it also lost a chunk of torque as well, which I'll flash up here. But yeah, the engine, so all new engine, this probably makes more sense. So rather than having, as Ducati did before, they had the Super Quattro engine in the old Pani V2 and the Street Fighter V2, both of which are bikes I loved dearly. But then they had the Testa Stretta engine for the Multistrada and the Desert X and Super Sport. Well, this is basically a replacement for the Super Sport as well, by the way, as well as the old V2. But yeah, now Multistrada has the same engine as this. It's all shared across everything. I would imagine at some point it's going to be a Desert X. There's another engine again in the Scrambler, the air-cooled one. So yeah, it kind of makes more sense to consolidate a little. But yeah, I've been doing a little bit of riding on this, and already, spoiler alert, don't care that it's less powerful. It's incredible. Display is still only a little diddly 5-inch thing, which seems a bit mean when you know, you're paying about 15-ish grand for this. I'll flash out the price because yeah, I'm not very organised with this. I'm going to have to chuck in some details after the fact. But yeah, it's 10 kilos lighter than the old one, so that means a lot less inertia. It's very revy, but also yeah, you've got, I think it's about 70 or 80% of the torque made from just 3,000 RPM, so you don't really have to rev it out, but at the same time, if you do, you're in for a bit of a treat. Oh, sounds nice. It's normally quite quiet here, but today it feels extremely busy. So yeah, some numbers for you. 890cc, that compares to 955cc before, so it's a little bit smaller, and you've got 118 brake horsepower at 10,750 RPM. You've got fully adjustable Öhlins on this S model. The other big news is yeah, the ergonomics as well. So these clip-ons 60mm higher than before. The pegs as well are a little bit lower. So yeah, it's not as comfort focused as the old Super Sport, but yeah, it's a damn sight roomier than the old V2, which was yeah, super sort of yeah, leaning forward position, very aggressive. This, dare I say it, you could probably tour on it. Luggage could be interesting. I don't know how it's going to work on that tail. Just a criticism before I get on, and I noticed this actually with the Multistrada I rode. Just some of the plastics on these Ducatis are starting to feel a bit flimsier than they were. I suppose they can probably claim it's weight reduction because this whole bike actually is lighter than before as well. I think it's something like I think it's 175 dry, so yeah, not a heavy bike at all. And you do feel that in the way it rides, as I'll get to shortly. But tell you what, let's pop it in neutral and actually start it. Yeah, at a standstill revving it doesn't actually sound that great, but as you'll see shortly, yeah, if you're tanking it, there's some fantastic induction growl on this. I was a bit worried after riding the Multistrada that this would sound a bit limp, but it absolutely does not. Anyway, let's ride. So, first time aboard the new Panigale V2, and straight away, ergonomically, it is so different from the old one. Still that kind of like Ducati slightly lazy starting sound. I got that on my Multistrada with the old Testa Stretta. But yeah, straight away I can feel those much higher bars. So yeah, 60mm higher. Yeah, and suddenly it doesn't feel like my knees are basically getting tucked straight into my chest. Already though as well, sounds quite different to the Multistrada that I've already ridden with this engine. Because what I always liked about the old Super Quattro engined Panigale V2 is it kind of just, it sounded way louder than you'd expect a Euro 5 bike to. And this already actually sounds surprisingly vocal, so maybe they've, yeah, there's some trickery. They've managed somehow to make a Euro 5 compliant bike that doesn't just sound like a wet fart at full chat that kind of disappears into the wind. We've gone straight in for sport because, you know, why not? Engine's still a little bit cold. Air temperature 18 degrees. I am calling bullshit on that straight away. This way, I think. I think what I've done is I've not done my nav, have I? Yeah, the other thing with these as well, compared obviously to the Super Quattro as well, but also, yeah, the old Testa Stretters, so much smoother in the low end. I think if I was kind of tickling at these sort of revs in either of the new ones, it will be rattly AF. You know, almost kind of feels like a big single, those old V-twins when you're starting to chug them. But this, well, only 3,000 RPM, and it is. Nice little crackle there. I better pull over and sort my nav out. I think we're going to get on just fine. Should we pull into Aston Martin just briefly? And then Lawrence Stroll might come out and shout at me for parking right in their exit. You don't understand, this is Aston Martin. You cannot park here at Aston Martin because I bought it, because I'm very rich. My son is the greatest racing driver of all time. Yeah, I haven't actually done the intro yet, so it's all kind of shot out of sequence this. Oh, there you go, 67 degrees, we can... Yeah, I'm just navigating to the Birth of Radar Memorial. And also happen to be a nice little place you can park up and do, yeah, a piece to camera. Alright, here we go, a bit of national speed. Let's try it third. I mean, it's not exactly slow. Oh, that's a lovely induction growl. Oh, already I like this a lot. So now Ducati do this finance deal, we call it. Yeah, we do this finance deal called 5250. Now it's called that because you put half the cost of the bike down, one lump sum, nothing else for 2 years, and then you kind of got a choice at the end of it. You either walk away, or you can trade in for something else, or you can pay the full cost and then the bike is yours. Well, actually, that sounds quite tempting if they ever did it on something like this. I don't think they will though, because they did this, is that do it on the Scrambler. Left from the front there and straight into a traffic jam. Yeah, half the cost of the bike down, nothing 2 years, half, and then yeah, half again. So that's quite tempting. You've got 2 years then to save up, or you know, you can trade in for something else. And because the residuals on Ducatis tend to be quite good, yeah, if you do want to do a trade-in, I gather it works out pretty well. Whether or not they do it on one of these or not, I don't know. Like I said, they did it on the old Street Fighter just before it was getting canned, so I'd imagine they just wanted to get shot of the older, get shot of them at that point. But yeah, if they ever did do such a deal with this, oh, I think I'd be in trouble, because I think I want one already. That's not good. I can't afford it. Anyway, right, let's reconvene on a bit of a better road. Alright, let's try second. Bloody hell. Oh, you don't need 150 brake. 118 when it's delivered like that feels absolutely fine. It feels tremendous, in fact. Jesus. This still feels so quick. Oh, I like this a lot. Oh, this is just going to be 15-20 minutes of me gushing about this and then trying to talk myself into selling everything I have. Not just bikes, because I need more money than the bikes I've got will give me, but yeah, selling everything, buying one of these, fuck, it's good. And you just need to breathe, like tickle the bars, and it'll start turning. And I'm like a shit rider. Imagine if you're like really good. What you're going to get out of this. Oh, back to a 40, chance to calm down a bit. Calm down a bit, and yeah, actually, squeeze a handful of those lovely feeling brakes. Brembos, are they Starlemas? I can't remember. Might as well moan about something though. So it feels a bit mean to, like, I guess it makes sense, but they put the cruise control buttons all there. Alright, where am I? I'm turning left, sorry, I might have my sat nav going throughout some of this. Yeah, it kind of seems a bit mean to give you the switch gear for the cruise control, and you're just kind of looking at it, knowing you don't have it. It does mean though, if you want to get it after the fact, you can do. You can upgrade. You know, it doesn't matter if you haven't spec'd it in the configurator or you get it used and the previous owner hasn't. You can then quite easily, yeah, get that sorted. I'll tell you what, this is not a smooth road, but it feels super plush down here. It's not crashing over any of this stuff. I seem to remember the old Pani being quite firm. This feels like a really nice balance. Ergonomically, yeah, I don't want to be any more forward than this. I don't want to be further back either. It feels, I think, spot on. You know what it's like? It's like someone in Ducati sat down and been like, basically built me my perfect bike. Has just the amount of power I want. Really easy to ride fast. It flatters an extremely average rider like myself. Obviously it's a Ducati, and I do love Ducatis. That noise. Oh, I'm astonished at what they've managed to do. Yeah, given the way so many bikes sound now. But I think a lot of that is just down to what you're hearing is not left on there surely. Yeah, what you're hearing is not exhaust noise, you're hearing induction growl, and it sounds superb. That's great though, because you can come out of the village. Just checking you've seen me before you pull out. Nice you have, thank you, Freelander. Yeah, you can get to the other side of the village. You can get to the other side of the village to the national speed limit sign, tank it, and you know you're not going to become the ire of the local Facebook page. Super confidence inspiring as well. I mean, I've only been on this thing for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. I feel like I've been riding it forever. Yeah, if I can only have one bike, although, you know, logic will dictate it should be something like a Multistrada V2. I don't think I'd want it to be this. Yeah, you just feel so connected to everything. Good bike. Just to balance it out, I should moan about something. Mirrors, they're shit. They're really bad. I'm eating my microphone cable there. Yeah, above about 40 you can't really see a lot in them. Let's try first. Oh, I like this bike a lot. I want one. Yeah, because the old Super Quattro just kind of It felt like a bomb going off when you went full throttle, which was great. And you could also ride it like slowly, and you know, it kind of sounded good everywhere. That's what I liked about it. And I do still kind of look at, particularly the Street Fighter V2. I had a couple of weeks on one of those a few years ago and adored it. But the times I went full throttle on it were, I could probably count them on one hand. I had a briefer encounter with the old V2. In fact, there's probably a photo of me somewhere, slightly wanky photo of me looking wistfully into the distance on a very minging, I think it was about a year ago, September, October, having a final ride on the old one before it was getting discontinued and the press part was being defleeted. Yeah, in that same lay-by from earlier. And yeah, that was quite an experience, but it was a bit, you know, it's still quite an intimidating bike, but it is such a weird, I think what I was getting at about in my title, if this is the title I've gone for, about it making sense, is, yeah, it's kind of in a bit of a no man's land, the old one, because it was not quite as powerful as in the modern crop of superbikes, but then less powerful than kind of the incoming sort of new class of middleweight sports bikes like the Yamaha R9, and now the KTM RC 990. I've forgotten what it was called, but yeah, it kind of fits in a bit strangely amongst all that. And yeah, it did still feel like a bit excessive for the road. This doesn't. You know, don't get me wrong. You can still be highly naughty on it very quickly, but I'm not just feeling like I'm backing off constantly for fear of going to prison for a very long time. But with this amount of power, yeah, it just makes sense. I mean, yeah, you've now got a massive gap between this and the V4, but I mean, I don't think there's any point in plugging that gap, as the old V2 kind of proved, because it was always a bit of a strangely placed thing. And you know, you can leave the V4 to the people who want the bragging rights, or you know, going to ship it off to Almeria or whatever and actually use it properly. Well, I think for everyone else, this is the Ducati sports bike that you want. I've been criticised it for the price if you want, but you know, it's a Ducati. We know this by now, they're not cheap. I think the initial price was slightly less than the old Super Quattro model. Well, I mean, this, yeah, so far, okay, what are you doing? I mean, this does just seem phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. I mean, the caveat is I have not yet ridden the R9. Yeah, I have ridden the M209, obviously, which shares quite a lot, including the engine. I prefer this engine by miles over that. Some of that is personal preference. I will admit, I do prefer twins to triples. That's just me. So I think that's the thing. This is not the perfect sports bike, because you know, nothing is perfect, but I think it's my perfect sports bike for what I look for in a bike, and it's just generally really flipping good. Yes, the mirrors are useless. Yes, it's a bit expensive. Yes, there are areas in which I wish it would feel more expensive, because it is. Oh, but as a riding experience, oh, I love this. I love it. Oh. Bit of depreciation. Sell some shit. Oh, want one. Yeah, and I was so worried I was going to miss that Super Quattro engine, but the fact is, I really don't. It just, yeah, what they've done here, it does feel very different in terms of character from this engine in the Multistrada V2. And really, you know, I'm just toying with it, but if you're a very good rider, get one of these in track. You've got to enjoy it immensely. Go on then, one more. Oh, yes. I think it's a nice duality to it, because yes, you can absolutely tank it to the red line. You really need to, and it does kind of sound good in the mid-range as well. Quick shifter as well. I've found Ducati quick shifters to be a tiny bit clunky in the past, but this one has been faultless throughout the ride. Yeah, sorry, that wasn't intended to be 20 minutes of gushing, but this is just quite good is all. Yeah, really, really good. So, yeah. Obviously, this is also a bit more expensive than stuff I normally look at. I normally look at kind of cheap used stuff and like bargains. But you know, as a bit of a Ducati lover, I just had to have a go on one of these. And wow, yeah, it's good. It's really good. But yeah, please do all the liking and subscribing and whatnot. And yeah, bye. One thing I should mention before I sign off, yeah, it doesn't quite toast your nuts as much as the old Super Quattro did. Admittedly, it's a cooler day today, but yeah, got a little bit of heat soak kind of around here and here, but no, generally, yeah. I kind of missed that though. Cold Della today, actually might be nice, but yeah, anyway, now I'm definitely done. Bye.